So this is my next project. I've got to finish off the bridge. I've got to build this across here and do something with this area, and then I've got to do the tracking here as well, and then I've got to put some fascia here. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do there or there yet, but let's see what happens. Here we are again in this corner of scenic work that I've got to do to try and blend it in with the rest of this over here. And the reason I'm doing this now is that I need to get on with the bridge section, which is just here, and I won't be able to reach all this when I have done the bridge. So that's given me a rough idea of what I want to do, and so I'm going to put some plaster bandage on that. Then I'm going to put some plaster on that, and then I'll mould it in. So what I will do is I will attempt to record as much of this as I possibly can and condense it. Wish me luck. Okay, so what we've got here is a polystyrene area that I've just put together as a base. I'm going to be putting some plaster bandage on certain areas just to make it more solid, and then I can work on developing it from there. Once that bandage is dried, I'll then apply more plaster of Paris, and then I'll start moulding it and start to scratch it and to make rock faces, etc. So let's see how we get on. So I've added a few little bits here just to give me a little bit of rock formation. Now I'm going to go and put some more plaster bandage on, and so that's some of it done. That's the basics of sorting it out, just the core basis anyway. And what I need to do now is let that dry. I'll come back to it and I'll add a little bit more, and then we'll go on to the actual plaster of Paris and the carving, which is the bit that I enjoy, because I just let myself go, and if it looks right, feels right, it is right. So that's it in place. You just need to play about with it a little bit. I might need something else up here to correspond with the scenery behind it, but that's all in the making. So as you can see, I've added a little bit more scenic work, just so that it can be seen, the contour here, when you're looking at the scenic. So I'll let that dry, and then I'll take it off and I'll start forming the rocks and the back scenery. Okay, so what do we have here? We have some plaster, black paint and tools, and a mixing bowl. Water's underneath the table. So I'm going to mix the plaster. I'm going to put some black paint in it to make it grey, so that if it gets chipped, it's not going to stand out a mile. So I'll mix it up and then we'll get started. So I decided to use a different mixing bowl, basically because you can only do this a small amount at a time. Otherwise, what will happen is the plaster will go off and you'll have a big lump left behind. So I'm just going to sprinkle this on top, and it will just absorb it naturally. Right, put a bit of black paint in. This also slows the drying process down a little bit, so you have a little bit longer to play with it, but also it takes a bit longer to go absolutely solid. So I think we can start putting some plaster on now. It's starting to just go to that edge, so I'm just going to put some at the top here and just let it drop down just to see what it looks like first of all. Doesn't look much at the moment. You can accentuate these areas with different paints through the scratcher. A little bit of texture. I actually changed my mixing bucket or mixing bowl to this little bucket because the plaster doesn't stick to the inside. So when it's dry, you just tap it, wipe it, and everything's empty, so you can use it again straight away. So I'll mix the rest up. Okay, I've mixed up some very odd colour, an odd looking colour here. It should blend in with this when it's painted. Okay, that's it for now. Just need to let that dry. So let us see what it looks like without any paint on it. Just a load of plaster. The white is the road. There's an old rock there, so let's give it a few bits of paint and see what happens. So we've got a few colours there which we're going to blend in, paint over, give washes with to get some depth and character to this little bit of scenery. So let us get on. So I'm just going to give it a wash with black first, just to get some, see where the highlights are going to be, and right, so we've got some dark and light tones here, so these can be white, maybe put some silver grey on there, make some darker areas of grey, and then you can add some greens and some yellows just to give a little bit of depth and contrast, and a little bit of moss and a little bit of greens. So let's see how I get on. That's about as far as we get tonight with the painting. We just need to enhance a few bits on there. I'm sure that when it's in place, it's got a bit of greenery on it. It should look okay. Is in place. Almost finished. I've done so far. Here we have the finished product. Well, not finished yet, I've got to paint the road, but done a little bit more of the scenery there to blend in with the rest of it. This is going to be an old road coming up here. So, there you go. I was doing earlier. Now complete with Austin 1100s, Capris, was minor convertibles, an old Austin, 2 Cortinas and a Triumph Stag. This is the corner where I've finished now. I've done the entrance to the tunnel, I've put this piece on, done the road, done the car park, got my cars on there. Got some of the scenic work, that's all finished, so we can come back that's my backdrop. So now we can continue on the bridge, the back, and all the way down there and around. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's not all showing you what I'm doing, but it's going from the polystyrene to the finished product. Thank you.